From Hall of Fame lanes in Canton, Ohio, the USA Network presents the Professional Bowlers Tour, the $110,000 Hammer PBA Seniors Championship. Today's 5 finalists are: in 5th place, Doug Johnson, a late bloomer. He joined the tour when he was 46, and he's going for his first ever PBA title. The 4th place finisher, Bob Kwolek. Tonight represents his first PBA paycheck in '84, and he's making his 2nd career TV appearance. Qualifying 3rd, Jim Schroeder. The last time he bowled on the PBA tour was in 1965, but he did finish 3rd in the '81 Seniors Championships. In 2nd place, Dick Weber. He won his first title in 1959. Another win tonight would mean the 28th title on the PBA trail. And the man that they're going to be shooting at, this week's leader, Carmen Salvino, a Hall of Famer who brings style, excitement, and lots of class to the pro game that he started 26 years ago in. The $110,000 Hammer PBA Seniors Championship on the USA Network is brought to you in part by the Stroh Brewery Company, family brewed quality for over 200 years. And by Levi's jeans, cords, and shirts for quality and style that you can count on. And hello, everyone, and welcome to Canton, Ohio. I'm Eddie Doucette, and with me, Mike Durbin. And Mike, I am really kind of thrilled about this occasion because we're having an opportunity to go back and see and talk about some of the great names in bowling, some of the fellas that have started it all for people like yourself and some of your own peers.
Well, it certainly is a pleasure to be at this tournament, Eddie. We're going to get to see Dick Weber today, who I used to watch as I was a boy growing up. We're going to get to watch Carmen Salvino, who I can remember on Championship Bowling Series, back the old series from Fates, Nice, and Lanes in Chicago. We once bowled 846, and I used to stay up late at night and sneak on the TV in my room to be able to watch that, and I watched Carmen do that. So it's a thrill for me to be here just to watch these guys play.
We have lots of stories within the stories here tonight. For instance, Doug Johnson, who's the 5th qualifier, is a fella that didn't start bowling as a professional till he was 46. What an accomplishment.
It is really an accomplishment. He worked in a machine shop for 33 years. He's bowled quite a bit on a local level, regional level. I think he has 15 seconds on a regional level to his credit, but he has no PBA victories. He has to win 4 games to win his first one today. It's a tough task, and he's got some big competition ahead of him.
And then the agonies and frustrations of a good bowler, Bob Kwolek, along the trail. He had some tough times back then. Had he been bowling today, he might have had some bigger paychecks.
Well, what Eddie's talking about is that Bob in the early 60s led 6 or 7 qualifying rounds of the PBA, but at that time they used to drop all the qualifying pins and then they bowled 3-game matches. And if you didn't win 2 in a row, you didn't make it to the television show at that time. And so Bob led several tournaments and never got a chance to win one. Today he does have a chance to win one.
It's a night for charter members. Jim Schroeder is one of those. He's here tonight.
Jim Schroeder bowled very well in our first seniors tournament. Back in 1981, he won his first 2 games and was winning his 3rd by 36 pins with 3 frames to go, but the roof fell in and he lost by 1 pin, and that might have cost him a chance to win that title. Then he's still looking for his first PBA title here tonight.
And then 2 names that are certainly synonymous with this great game of bowling, Dick Weber and Carmen Salvino, both Hall of Famers. Dick Weber first.
Dick Weber, 27 titles, 4 All-Star titles. He's been bowling. He's the only man to win titles in 4 different decades. He accomplished that feat by winning the Seniors Championship here last year, which makes him the defending champion. I think the human interest story here, Eddie, is that if Dick would win, it would be the first time, I think, in any sports event anywhere that a father-son combination would have won back-to-back tournaments.
We'll have a chance to develop that story as we go, and we'll talk to Dick Weber about that. But then there's Carmen Salvino. I really relate to this man because as a youngster growing up in the Midwest, that area of the country, I remember Carmen Salvino. He's been a great one for a lot of years.
He certainly has. As I alluded to earlier, I watched him on that old championship bowling series at that time. He just lapped the field here, Eddie. He averaged 221, and the next biggest average was 209. Carmen has had a sore shoulder, but evidently that's healed now, and he says he's bowling without pain, and he just ran away from the field here. He only has to win 1 game to win his 18th PBA title.
I can't remember whether it was he or Whispering Joe Wilson that made each of the other famous, but both of them certainly have a part in the game, and Carmen Salvino is here tonight. We think we've got an interesting field. We hope that you'll enjoy, and we'll be right back to Canton, Ohio after these words on USA.
Now there's an easier way for you to keep up with all the latest in news, sports, money, and life. It's USA Today delivered right to your home or office every day. And when you subscribe, look at all you'll get.
A whole new way. USA Today.
USA Today, the nation's newspaper. At home or at the office, it brings you all the news from around the corner and around the country in 4 colorful sections. News, sports, money, life. USA Today. Exciting, rewarding, fascinating, vital.
USA Today brings you the USA.
USA Today, via satellite from the nation's capital right to your door. Call now and you can have it delivered at this special introductory price. Order 3 months at our regular rate and you'll get an additional 2 weeks free. That's 15 weeks, 75 issues, all for just $19.50. But you must act now. The price is going up August 27th. Plus, if you call now with your paid subscription, you'll also get this matching USA Today t-shirt and cap free. Just call 1-800-453-2900 to start delivery of USA Today. That's 1-800-453-2900 to get USA Today. The newspaper of tomorrow is here today. USA Today, the nation's most colorful and most comprehensive newspaper. News covering the nation from every state. Money, how to make it, how to spend it. Sports, all the results from everywhere. And life, the talk, the trends, and what's worth trying.
USA Today brings you the USA.
Now's the time to act. Get USA Today and your matching t-shirt and cap free. Call now.
And from the Hall of Fame lanes in Canton, Ohio, we're ready for our very first match of the night. You see Doug Johnson on the left. Bob Kwolek is on the right. A couple of fine gentlemen. Bob Kwolek is 51, Doug Johnson 56, as they get set to square off with a friendly handshake.
And we're bowling on lanes 39 and 40. Lane 39 seems to be the tough lane, the one that they're going to have to master. It kind of has a hang spot in it. Doesn't want to quite finish like 40 will. Well, Kwolek solves it on the first shot.
Yeah, nice start for Bob Kwolek. The 180-pounder really went after that.
Bob's always had a nice, easy style here. Very free swing, good slide. Look at the balance and the follow-through. Go right straight up. Excellent shot.
Doug Johnson.
Hits the nose on that first shot. Gets a break. Leaves only the 4-pin. A little nervous, that first shot. I don't think he's ever been on television before.
No, he hasn't. First championship round appearance of his career. Well, he didn't start until rather late, as we had indicated at the top of the telecast, when he was 46, after 33 years in a machine shop.
And has the spare.
And so the left-hander picks up the spare, and we are underway from the Hall of Fame lanes in Canton, Ohio.
Had some exciting matches in past years here. I can remember when Larry Miller beat Bill Beach in a very exciting match to win. I think it was in '82.
This is a drive and a 2-iron from your home, isn't it?
Just about, yeah.
Not that far away.
Norman's driving 2-iron.
Yeah.
Not mine.
Greg Norman.
Hits the nose again, not so fortunate this time. Leaves the 2-7. The baby split. Doug has 4 very quick steps. Look at how short the backswing is. Hardly gets back at all. Nice slide. Very simple game. Not much can go wrong. And nice conversion.
Real nice conversion.
Doug doesn't take much time. Throws it out over about the second arrow. Perfect. Ball deflects. It's both pins. Kwolek trying for a double. Right there. Nice shot. Nice shot.
Well, Bob Kwolek's been around a while, 12 years in the tour total. His first championship round appearance, second of his career, first championship round appearance this year.
There's a dartboard. You can just see it down. It's a 12th board, and that ball is going right over that dartboard, and that's going to be the key on lane 40 today. The boys keep the ball on that board or one board right of it. It goes right to the pocket.
Good spot.
It's going high, and he breaks it up. A good break, leaves only the 6-pin. Makes a little motion with his hand there that he turned over the top of that ball, and his follow-through went to the right. The ball went left.
You call that one right from the get-go. Right there, just a little bit high. They use a lighter ball, the seniors.
No, Carmen Salvino informed me today that he's still using a 16-pound ball. Most of them still use the 16-pound ball. Switches balls, uses another one to convert the 6-pin. Keeps him with 11 pins in front.
11 on top, as Mike just mentioned. Doug Johnson, career earnings just under $18,000.
High again. 2-4-7. Just that a little bit nervous, won't give the ball room. You get under the pressure, and the tendency is to steer it up to the pocket a little bit, and you steer it up high is what you wind up doing.
Footwork a little different between these two gentlemen. Doug Johnson, not quite as fluid.
And makes that spare, though. He's giving us a course on spare shooting.
Did a nice job of picking up that spare.
Not an easy spare, the 2-4-7.
Johnson looking at 14 pins, the difference right now.
Gives us a little more room, and couldn't get the 5-pin out. He's picking up the speed a little bit in order to try and get the ball into the pocket, and he just didn't get the lift on that one he wanted. Just kind of hangs in this ball. It's not turning over. See, it's kind of loping. Now watch the ball deflect, and that is the solid 5. Call it. Easy spare, though.
Nice. Picking up those spares.
Keeps himself in the match.
And he's right there. As Kwolek now will step up with a 15-pin lead. Bob Kwolek.
Pretty shot, pretty shot.
He's zeroed in on that board, Mike. He is right on it.
Well, it's like bowling used to be, Eddie. A lot of times you would find a pair of lanes that'd be like this. One lane would swing back and the other one would kind of hang, and reminds me of old style bowling.
Marcia and Robbie, his wife and son, in attendance here tonight.
And Bob introduced me to Robbie before the show.
Nice young man.
Trying for a double. And left lane is definitely the trickier. He went high the last time. There's your adjustment, the correction. Gave a little more room. Leaves only the 2-pin.
Bob Kwolek, who won the 56 ABC All Events title. And he goes to that other ball again.
A lot of guys do that. A lot of pros do that. Use that ball, go straighter at the spares. They can throw straight at it that way. And he has it easily.
So he journeys up the road from Dayton, Ohio. Picks up the spare. And doing well right now. So we'll be back with Bob Kwolek and Doug Johnson. After we break for these words.
Gotta be there at 8, gotta illuminate. Got to be looking much better than great. Grab a classic color, add a little more style. Looks like a Levi's corduroy night. Levi's corduroy night, looking good. It's a Levi's corduroy night.
USA, the home of the most prestigious events in tennis, serves up another ace with Tennis Magazine Reports, featuring late-breaking news, profiles, instruction from the pros, and much more. Tennis Magazine Reports, delivered to your home at 8 p.m. Eastern, Friday.
It's much more than just This Week in Baseball. Catch player profiles, all the baseball news, and more on Don Drysdale's Baseball USA, Friday.
It's the great teams at a great time, and it's live. It's the premiere of USA's College Football 84. Saturday, September 8th. You've got a ticket to a top 20 barn burner as mighty Oklahoma puts its revamped wishbone attack up against Stanford's passing sensation, John Pay. USA's College Football 84. Pass it on. Live at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific, Saturday, September 8th. USA turns Atlantic City into Bump City on the next edition of Friday Night Boxing. Former WBA junior welterweight champion Johnny Bump City Bumpus starts his run for the welterweight crown when he battles knockout artist Ralph Twining.
From the Hall of Fame lanes in Canton, and tonight's alternate.
Bill Tucker, the 1965 All-Star champion.
Just out of the top 5. Don't forget, coming up, we've got Dick Weber, Carmen Salvino, Jim Schroeder. Some good matches to follow.
And Doug Johnson looking for his first strike. And he comes up again, and he was hoping to get a Brooklyn and didn't quite get over. And he has the 4-7-8. And again, he's just turning this ball too soon. His thumb goes down, and he goes over the top of the ball, and the ball's right at target immediately. And it just never has a chance to hit the 1-2 pocket. He really hasn't been close yet. Has the spare, though.
He's consistent with the spares.
Well, the trouble is, Ed, that when you consistently are out of the pocket like that, sooner or later you're going to get a split. You're going to get an open. Right now he's already lost 9 pins and count in 5 frames. And he needs to start putting the ball in the 1-2 pocket.
He injured his back earlier this year bowling in Phoenix, but he's come back, recuperated, does not seem to have any physical problems, and is anxious to see what he can do here.
3-5-6. Said that he hadn't been close to the pocket. He was close to the pocket in the 4th frame when he left the 5 pin. Now he's got 88 in the 5th. He needs to convert this spare just to stay within 21 pins. And has it.
21 pins down, Doug Johnson. And he's not happy about it at all. Bob Kwolek will step up now. Owns a bowling center down there in Dayton, Ohio.
Kwolek drifts right on the approach, walks right toward his target all the way. And he's back in the pocket again on this lane. He's just really zeroed in on lane 40.
He feels like he's in the groove. You can tell with the way he nods with approval.
I think you'll find with all the pros that 40 is the easier lane today. Look at that concentration. Good follow through there. And he knows it's in the pocket. He's just rooting it out.
There it is.
21 pins. The difference. Kwolek working on a strike in the 6th frame. Trying for a double. Right there. Gets that 10 pin out of there. Going much more direct on lane 39, but he has to be much finer. Again, look at that concentration, that set jaw. He knows it's there, though. All right.
Doug Johnson.
Tie again. And they're falling all over, but he still leaves a 7 pin. Well, we could have an all spare game here. That'll do it. That'll do it for sure. He'll get a strike now that I said that he can have a potential all spare game.
He's also a pro shop owner, Long Beach, California.
Cross lane at the 7 pin. There it hooks back. Never a doubt. He made that just like our statistician, Larry Lidstrom.
He's a long way away right now. 32 pins, according to Larry's charts. Kwolek resting comfortably, thinking about what he has to do right now from now to the end of this one.
suppose his shoulder's a little sore the way he pinched it there. And, ooh. Well, that was his best effort by far. He has 2 more frames to try and get a strike in there. Cross lane at the 7th pin. And Doug is still potential 208 if he would strike all the way out. Kwolek right now is going at a 219 pace.
PBA Commissioner Joe Antonora in attendance tonight. He's done a wonderful job.
A little high. Just can give him that one the room that he had been.
Nudged it, but it wouldn't go for him. Just a little bit high.
Just aimed that ball in. Instead of just letting it go toward the target, he tried to steer it toward the target. It seemed kind of bounce up and down there. He knows that he was fortunate to get away with 9 on that shot. Cross at the 10 pin. No problem.
You know, had he had the benefit of playing the rules as we know them today, he might have won a lot more events and thus more career money.
He definitely might have been a much better chance. As I mentioned before, he led 6 or 7 tournaments in the qualifying round, and they dropped all the pins. I mean, they don't drop all the pins today. The pins are carried forward.
He averaged 205 plus this week.
Foundation frame, 9th frame on his tougher of the 2 lanes. He's in the pocket. Nice shot. Nice shot. Very good shot. See, he knows that if he gets this strike, he forces Johnson to strike out to make him mark. So he runs to make his best shot. He knows it's there.
And that puts him at 32 up on Doug Johnson. He's been high all night.
He certainly has. He never got close on lane 40.
Nope, lane 40s have been a problem. But again, you consider that this man didn't turn professional until he was 46 years old. Quite an accomplishment.
At the 4-7, has the spare.
Oh, Mr. Kwolek in good shape.
And he's fiddling around with that shoulder again. You see,
maybe a little tendonitis there. These fellows don't get a chance to compete that much.
Trying for the first strike. Well, he's going to have to do it on the fill ball. We definitely got an all-spare game here. I haven't seen one of those in quite a while. Janet Bueller, our proprietor here, is going to give him 5 free games, I think. So.
Boy, she's done a nice job this week, hasn't she, Mike?
Yes, she certainly has. She does every year here. Everybody just loves her. Oh, come on, Doug. Now finish it off right with a strike here on the fill ball.
They have a sense of humor, though. You know, the one nice thing about this, the fellows, they really get along well. Not that they don't on the regular tour. It seems to be a good camaraderie all around in Boulder.
No, he couldn't do it. 181 he winds up with.
So Doug Johnson sits down, finishes with a 181. So all that remains now for Bob Kwolek is to roll him out and be prepared to step ahead to the next challenge. And that would be Jim Schroeder.
Potential 238 if he would strike it out. It's high again on the Brooklyn. And gets it.
Things are going well for Bob Kwolek, as he'll tell you. He's won a little over $50,000 in his career as a PBA professional.
Be adding to that today, too.
And the family enjoying another step, another rung on the ladder to $15,000 possible dollars.
I think the son's more nervous than the father there.
He looks a little tense, doesn't he? He's done well in this lane. See how he does here.
He's high again. Leaves the 4-7. In the break there, Kwolek was keeping the crowd laughing by saying that he was more nervous now than he was when Robbie was born. So then he added, you know where he was bowling. Finished with 226 with a conversion of the 4-7 here. Very nice score.
And he's got it. 226 with 7 strikes. There he is, our winner in the first match here, Bob Kwolek, a 51-year-old professional bowler from Dayton, Ohio, as he defeats Doug Johnson, who came all the way from Long Beach, California, and at age 56 steps out in the senior competition. So our next setup will be Bob Kwolek and Jim Schroeder, and we'll be back very shortly.
Jimmy Martin is not a professional bowler, but he's changed the game of bowling forever. With the Martin Lane Reader, you'll be bowling the best scores of your life in minutes. Stop line-finding guesswork. Get the ball into the pocket fast. And here's Jimmy Martin.
Hi, my lane reader will show any bowler where to stand on the approach for strikes and spares. I used it to win the 1981 New York State Tournament. As a 162 average bowler, everybody was surprised when I went and averaged 226 to win. Now the pros recommend it. Please listen to what 20-time national champion and PBA Hall of Famer Dick Ricker discovered.
I've known amateurs around the world who are totally amazed at how fast they can line up strikes and pick spares with the Martin Lane Reader. Here's how to order yours.
Order your Martin Lane Reader today. Here's how. For COD Visa and MasterCard orders, call toll-free 1-800-USA-1000 or save COD charges and send $11.95 plus $2 for postage and handling to Lane Reader, Box 49648, Atlanta, Georgia.
Radio 1990, rock and roll with personality. Host Catherine Kinley with the latest and greatest from the world of music. Feature interviews and exclusive stories with journalist Lisa Robinson. And a bevy of rock's best. Videos, news, current events, all the facts and fun of popular music each weekday on the USA Network. Radio 1990, always a step ahead. At 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, today.
On the next Seeing Stars, Gene Wilder plays a lovable nebbish obsessed with the woman in red in a bawdy new comedy. But what's the real Gene Wilder like? We'll find out. Then we'll meet Henry Thomas, the kid from E.T. who's starring in his own big screen adventure. And we'll preview Dreamscape, a sci-fi thriller where good guys and bad guys battle in dreams.
At 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on USA tomorrow.
All right, here we go. We'll set it up for you now as we get set with Jim Schroeder. And he is on the right, and you've got Bob Kwolek on the left. You got a chance to see Bob Kwolek in action, and incidentally, neither of these fellows, Jim Schroeder or Bob Kwolek, have ever won a PBA title. Should either of these gentlemen win tonight, they would become eligible for next year's Firestone Tournament of Champions in Akron. All right, let's take a look now and meet our next candidate, and that would be Jim Schroeder. So let's go right now. Jim Schroeder. Another charter member of the PBA. This is Jim Schroeder, and Jim's been around a long time. Although you weren't that active on the Pro Tour, you go back to the days when they had team bowling.
That's right. I bowled with the Falstaff St. Louis team, Ed, and Detroit Stros, Vipers, Genesee Beer. I guess I'm a beer bowler.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. What the heck? Jim, you look good. You're in your middle 50s now, and in a little conversation that we had, you expressed an interest perhaps in seeing maybe one or two more of these kind of seniors events. They're fun. It's a good way to get together with some of the old friends and a chance to get competitive again.
Well, it's real nice to see the guys, certainly after 15, 20 years, 10 years, whatever. I personally love to bowl. I still bowl quite a bit, practice quite a bit, probably more than most of these fellas. But I don't make the regular tour too often because it's tough to beat those young guys. And I like this because these fellas have the same aches and pains I do. So it makes us more equal.
Tell me about that one-game roll-off you had with Dick Weber to get here.
Dick, Dick's my favorite bowler. I love the guy. But, well, I guess maybe I got a little nervous, and I missed a couple of easy spares. And then Dick opened up a couple of times to make it easy for me, I guess. And we hashed it back and forth, and he wound up beating me by 4 pins. But it was just one of those fast games, you know, and we both lost a touch a little bit there.
Wasn't that much difference between the two? 4 pins, I believe. The difference between second and third. So here you are tonight. You're having to go after it a little bit of a different position than you would have liked to have gone at it. But, you know, getting back to this particular tour, camaraderie, I think that's the thing you underscore when you talk about senior tours of any type. Bowling, golf, tennis. Everybody seems to be a little bit looser.
Yeah, well, those things are things that money cannot buy. You know, the friendships that you've developed over the years, the camaraderie. These fellas are as much for you, and yet they're competitive. You know, I'm out there trying to beat Dick Weber as bad as I can, but I still think he's the greatest bowler going. So I think that part of it is somewhat lost on today's tour. More fellas playing, more money at stake, more pressures, and they're a little bit more closed up. They're not too open, and they don't turn the smiles on as easily. So it's a little tough out here.
Let me see a smile. He's got to be happy. He's happy just being here, isn't he? Jim Schroeder, 5'10", 205 pounds, from Tonawanda, New York. He is a gentleman that does a lot of work in bowling circles up around the Buffalo area. Puts on a lot of clinics. He is set to go. So we'll get a chance to see Jim Schroeder and Bob Kwolek, who moved on, defeating Doug Johnson in our second match.
Jimmy Schroeder coming on has his choice
Choice?
Of finishing lanes, and he has chosen to finish on lane 40. He's going to start the match on 39, make Kwolek finish on the tougher of the two lanes. And trips that forward, the first shot.
Well, interestingly enough, Mike, he was the cook when he was on the PBA tour. He was the fellow that prepared the food for all the parties.
That's what they say. 5-step player here, free swing, in balance, good follow through. Look good there.
Bob Kwolek
gives this one more room. Nice shot. Sitting right behind Bob. And I could tell pretty much as soon as he lets it go what's going to do. Very smooth player, you know. I really like his balance. And again, you see that ball just right of that dark board, and when he gets it there, wham, you see the result.
As you mentioned, smooth, excellent form. Bob Kwolek.
I always used to like, when I watched Bob bowl years ago, watch his follow through. Oh, he never seemed to help the ball to the pocket, but he trusted it. It seemed like every shot. Just like that. Boy, oh boy. Those are two of the prettiest shots you'll ever see. Again, that concentration. Boy, is he concentrating well. And he knows it's there. You hear him talking to that ball. Showing that animation that the seniors seem to show all the time that the touring players don't always. Schroeder trying to double to stay even in the match, and does.
Ah, we have a good one going. Remember, $15,000, the first prize here in Canton.
Schroeder in a little deeper, but gets to that dark board just the same as Kwolek does, and there's the result. Schroeder hooking the ball a little bit more than Kwolek. Both of them keeping the speed rather moderate. We're not really throwing hard, but not super slow either. Jimmy trying for 3 in a row here on lane 39. See how he's got that wrist cup there? It straightens out in the backswing though. 10 pin. Looked like a 10 pin all the way, and it was. He was hoping to get a little love tap on it.
Jim Schroeder, who was defeated by Dick Weber in a 1-game roll-off.
But in the championship round in 1981, Jim Schroeder defeated Dick Weber on television. Cross lane at the 10 pin, has the spare.
And so the man that won the ABC Classic singles title in '76 sits down, gives way now to Bob Kwolek.
There's Harry Wells, the president of the National Bowling Council and former president, just recent past president of the Bowling Proprietors Association. And nice shot, boy, right over that dark board.
He had 7 strikes in the first match. He has 3 going in this one, and he is on a run right now. Bob Kwolek.
Again, see it going over that dark board, right on it. This one he was in a little deeper, didn't belly it quite as far. He's got a little room to the right. He gets it on that dark board just right, and it stays there. And if he sends it aboard right, it comes back.
He's up 11 pins. And as I mentioned, on a roll.
He's He's there again. Oh, leaves the 4-pin. Went just a little more direct that time. It's a good shot. It sure could have struck. Really like the way Bob keeps his head down. The follow-through comes up. The body comes up after he's let the ball go. He moves those hips a little bit to try and get that 4-pin out. Cross lane at the 4-pin. Has the spare, no problem.
And so now Jim Schroeder will step up. Number 7 on the leading senior money winners list. And we're coming to you from the Hall of Fame lanes here in Canton, Ohio, the Hammer PBA Seniors Championship.
Ooh, he threw that ball wider and it hooked more, and he leaves what is known as Big Tonk. That is the Greek church, the 4, 6, 7, 9, 10. I thought this ball was going to be a strike. He went wide of that dartboard, and it just finished what's called the overreaction. Try and throw hard at the 3 pins and hope something bounces around, and doesn't. And Schroeder's in trouble. Down 27 pins. What a difference. If he strikes there, it's only 10 pins.
Wife Joyce, a little nervous, fidgeting, maybe even praying.
Little light, and shows the power of his ball. He gets that 5-pin out of there.
Oh, he comes right back and picks up a big one.
Good lift here. Ball's coming in light. Watch the ball barely get the 5. Just gets it, and it falls into the 4.
And he now trails by 27 pins, and he knows that his task is not Herculean, but it's going to be tough. So we will return to our lanes here in Canton, and we'll do that after we send it away to USA.
See this AM/FM walkabout? We're sending one just like it, free, to people who've already responded to a very special offer. And now we're going to make that same offer to you. So watch closely. Then I'll be back to help you get your free walkabout.
When you read Time each week, you know more. You understand.
Time flies and you are there. Time cries and lets you care. You understand the world we share. Yes, time brings you closer to living. Time puts events in sharp review. Time brings it all right home to you.
Each week, Time magazine takes you beyond the news to help you make sense of it all. And now you can get Time for almost half off the cover price. Call 1-800-221-9100 and get 27 issues of Time with all the important stories of 1984, including Time's special coverage of the upcoming presidential election. And you can have it all for just 89 cents an issue, payable in 3 easy installments of $7.97. We'll also send you this free with your paid subscription, the Time AM/FM Walkabout. It has state-of-the-art circuitry for clear reception and full, rich sound. It weighs just ounces and has padded adjustable headphones. So call now, 1-800-221-9100. There's never been a better time to get Time.
Throughout your world, throughout your land, time puts it all right in your hand. Read Time and understand.
Hi, I'm Judy, one of the operators here at Time Magazine. Remember, if you call now, you'll get Time at almost half off the cover price. And this exclusive Time AM/FM walkabout free. This offer ends soon, so call right now. Our operators are standing by.
We're coming to you from Canton, Ohio at the Hall of Fame lanes, and there's a certain pall over this crowd, particularly the bowling world. Mike Durbin, when we are reminded that Andy Verapapa died Sunday night in New York at the age of 94.
And I just learned of that tonight, and it just really grieved me. Andy's been just such a fixture in bowling for so many years, and all of us will deeply miss him. Kwolek back in the pocket. Oh, is he throwing the ball well?
He really is. He averaged 205 plus during the week, but he's on a better tear right now.
Again, just trust that ball out so well. That nice roll. See that even roll. Now watch the 6-pin just get that 10 out. Again, when you see that 6-pin go off the wall and get that 10, you know that he had good lift with his fingers. And you see that contraption that he's wearing. It's called a scorpion. His hand right underneath the ball. He stays there, and he turns right at the last possible second. And out the window, mistake, the 1, 2, 8, 10. He knew he rushed that shot a little bit and lost it.
You know, Mike, one of the things he said that got him here was staying firm and keeping the ball in the playing area. The ball had been working pretty well, and it had been so far tonight, but that was one of the few mistakes we've seen him make.
Well, you know, he just hit that drive out of bounds right there, but he still has a chance to convert this spare.
OB, line 3.
Has a chance, has a good chance. Nice conversion.
Oh, he gets his par.
That's that recovery shot. That brings the crowd to life here, too. Boy, a chance to put Kwolek back in the match, or put Schroeder back in the match. If he missed it, Kwolek wouldn't let him breathe. Boy, he just made it perfectly, that 1 pin right into the 10. Schroeder now still down 27. Can cut it to 17 with a double. He needs to strike here badly. And, oh, leaves the 4-pin, points his finger at it. Knew he made a good shot, was hoping to get the break of that 2-pin hitting the 4 and didn't get it. See the competitive juices come out in Jim Schroeder then.
Finished third in a PBA event in 1981. But he was primarily a team bowler.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Just got it.
Woo! He caught the hairs of that pin.
Well, they always say, you know, these are proprietors, they don't hit them too hard. You don't want to break those pins.
We get a little bit more longevity out of those pins.
And you see the difference there, 119 in the 5th to 92. Both players working on spare. The difference, 27 pins with only 4 frames to go. Kwolek definitely in the driver's seat right now. Schroeder back in the pocket and blows him out of there. Keeps himself alive, having really less trouble on lane 39. Good concentration. Look at the balance. Lift straight up. Look at the follow through. Now he knows it's a little light. He starts moving to the right. Blows that 5 across. Kwolek on the spare. He's going high on the Brooklyn. Doesn't get quite over there. Again, though, breaks up the split, leaves only the 10-pin, only loses 1 pin in count, reduces his lead to 26 if he makes the spare.
There's his wife and son, hoping Dad can get his first PBA title ever.
And I know his son is saying right now, don't miss this now. Come on, Pop. Ooh! We had a couple narrow spares there by 2 veteran players.
Oh, boy.
Well, I tell you, this one was falling off into the channel and hit the pin. Now watch it. It's falling off now and just nicks it. Yeah, that measured just right. That's all he's got to say. 8th frame action. Ooh, what a bad break. That ball could have tripped the 4 and he left the 4-10. Now he's going to have a much more difficult split here to convert. Sometimes when you just make a spare like that, your concentration gets broken just a little bit, and that appeared to be what happened. The ball goes just a little high, and he leaves the 4-10. It'll be interesting to see if he goes for it, which he is. He's going for it. He's going all out at this. He's not going to get over, though. He's 9 out.
I'll give you an idea about how things have changed for him. 1963 was his best year in the money list. He won 9,900 plus for 24th place. Things a little bit different in 1984. These gentlemen, I'm sure, would love to have had the opportunity to bowl for these kind of paychecks that they're taking a shot at tonight.
Jim Schroeder down 13 pins. Can cut it to 3 if he can double here. Big shot here, big shot here, big shot, and he threw it wide and it went high. He thought the ball was in the pocket. The lane is overreacting. Lane 40 overreacts for him. What he needs to do is move another board to the left with both his feet and target. See him go wide of that board. Now he thinks it's in the 1-3 here, and it just bites and goes too high. Could have had that big split like he had back in the 4th frame. Has to have the spare now. Kills the shot at the 610, makes it easily.
Yeah, the door was wide open. Was not able to take advantage and now trails by 13 pins.
Looking up at the score, he's got to figure we're down to the 9th frame, 2 frames left. So many things can happen in the 9th and 10th frame. Kwolek has to be a little bit unnerved, although he's got that poker face. You never know it. Kind of.
That 8th frame has got to be eating him a little bit right now.
Well, you got to feel a little better though when your opponent doesn't take advantage.
That's right.
Like that. Jim has to have this one to set himself up for the 10th. Light, gets the light hit, keeps himself alive. Keeps himself barely alive here. You'll watch the head pin go to the wall, Ed, and it will take out the 4, 5, 7. Slowly, but does it.
Some nice animation of these seniors as we look at Bob Kwolek.
Back in the pocket, and he blows him out of there, but leaves the 7 pin. Tight match here. Kwolek again switching balls for the spare. Cross lane at the 7 pin should present no problem. And doesn't. Even gets a double kiss.
Well, let's see where that puts him. There it is.
There you see the difference, 13 pins, but Schroeder is on the strike. Jim is potential 213. Kwolek right now is going at a 205 pace, but if he doubles it, if he gets 8, he'd have 213. I mean, Schroeder is potential 212. So what Kwolek needs is 2 strikes and 8. He's in the pocket. Oh, the 8-10 went slow, but it went.
And they are closing the gap here at the Hall of Fame lanes in Canton.
Wow, that could have been an 8-10. It could have been a weak 10. Instead, it turned out to be a strike.
It's a good match.
This is the big shot right here. He knows that this one can close that door. Schroeder just looking away. Not much he can do except sit there and watch. He's high. He's high. And, oh, that pin was bouncing around. He leaves the 6 pin and gives Jim Schroeder a chance. Gives Jim Schroeder a chance. With a conversion, he will finish with 205, and Jim Schroeder can strike out for 212. However, Jim picked a finish on lane 40, has not struck on it since the 2nd frame. Let's see if he makes any kind of adjustment in the 10th frame, whether he makes a move with his feet or whether he picks up the speed on this right-hand lane.
Kwolek finishes 205, as Mike had indicated. And now it's up to Schroeder. He can control his own fate here.
You can't ask for a better opportunity. Now, you've got a chance and the bowling ball's in your hand. Even though it's difficult and you're nervous and the butterflies are there, you got to overcome it and make the shot. Picked up his speed, picked up the speed. Great shot. Did you see that increase in speed?
Bangs those hands away like he's a cymbal player.
Boy, he made his best shot of the game right here. He knows it's there. Running backwards, and he'll smack those hands together. However, he can't use up too much emotion on that first shot because he needs 2. He needs 2. Personally, I never show any emotion as Bob looks on, now looks down on that first shot. If I get the second one, yeah, then. He's got to keep that speed up again on this right lane.
4th career TV appearance.
And it's high. Trips the 4-7-10 out. Woo! Kwolek just shakes his head. Kwolek looks back at his wife and son and just shakes his head. Says, I had my chance. He knows it's a little high. Is it going to hold? Now he's running to the left and smacks those hands and says, all right, thank you very much.
He looked like a football coach running down the sideline to make sure that that fella got in the corner of the end zone, didn't he?
Now his thinking changes drastically here. He just wants to stay behind the foul line and keep the ball on the lane. And he's done that. He's a winner. Oh, what a shot. What a finish.
What a finish. And that puts Jim Schroeder into the next bracket as he ends with 212, 8 strikes in the match. Bob Kwolek, who started out strong, ends up with a 205 and 5 strikes. And what a match it was. So Schroeder over Kwolek. And next up will be Dick Weber as the beat goes on here at the Hall of Fame Lanes in Canton, Ohio. We're on USA, and we're coming back.
The worst stock market crash in history rocked the nation yesterday as stock prices collapsed.
On October 24th, 1929, the news that shocked the world didn't surprise everyone. 2 months earlier, Business Week readers were warned about stock prices that seemed unsteady. Business Week was then only a few weeks old. Today, the look of the magazine has changed, but not its significance. It was Business Week that told its readers about the takeover epidemic in the steel industry. And before the computer war broke out, Business Week readers not only knew it was coming, but who would come out on top. Week after week after week, Business Week tells you exactly what's going on in business and how it could affect your business. It's all right here, in the most concise, accessible form possible. But this publication does more than report the news. Business Week interprets, even anticipates, and that's important. Because in business, nobody likes to be taken by surprise.
Business Week magazine revealed this week.
Subscribe to Business Week right now, and you'll get 32 weekly issues at the low basic rate of only $24.95. That's just 78 cents an issue, a savings of more than 60% off the cover price. And along with your paid subscription, Business Week will send you one more valuable business tool, the Business Week Solar Calculator, free. This desktop calculator is powered by any light source, requires no batteries, and it's free with your paid subscription to Business Week. Subscribe to Business Week. You'll get 32 weekly issues for only $24.95. And remember, the Business Week Solar Calculator is free with your paid subscription. This is one business opportunity you ought to take advantage of. Order now.
To get Business Week and your Business Week Solar Calculator, call toll-free 1-800-USA-1000. 32 issues are just $24.95. This low basic rate saves you more than $39 off the cover price. Your calculator is free with your paid subscription. Call 1-800-USA-1000. That number again is 1-800-USA-1000.
And we're coming to you from the Hall of Fame Lanes in Canton, Ohio, the 1984 Hammer PBA Seniors Championship. You've met the qualifiers 1 through 5. Let's see the rest of the field.
And finishing 6th, the former All-Star winner, Bill Tucker. Carl Babb finished 7th. Les Barrett, 8th. Al Pujo finished 9th. Former winner here, Bill Beach, finished 10th. Tommy Tuttle, 11th. Ed Bourdain, 12th. Bob Perry was 13th. Tita Semez in his first year in the seniors finished 14th. Walt Roy, 15th. Lamar Taylor, 16th. Chet Ahola from Cleveland, Ohio, 17th. Duncan McLeod, 18th. Ed Marquardt finished 19th. John Pacific was 20th. Andy Rogoznica finished 21st. Steve Balga, 22nd. Robert Snell was 23rd, and the great Bob Strampy finished 24th.
And a good day, Mike, for these gentlemen. First place worth $15,000, second $8,000, third $6,000, fourth $5,000, and fifth $4,000. Not bad.
Not bad at all. And our leaders round by round are rather simple this week. It's just Carmen Salvino, 1st through 6th. And he's hoping to make it one more game tonight.
Carmen Salvino, a great one. Mike Durbin, not bad either. And for some of you senior bowlers, he's got a very interesting bowling team. Let's listen.
In keeping with the spirit of our seniors tournament tonight, I thought I'd do a tip that's more specifically aimed at the senior citizen bowler. It's really a tip that involves 3 aspects. The first aspect is simply to do a little physical exercise or stretching exercises before you ever come to the bowl. Let's face it, as we get older, those muscles get a little stiffer and harder to get warmed up, so you might want to do a little exercise before you come to the bowl. I'd like to show you just a couple that you might want to try. First, you want to loosen up your arm, so you might just want to take the arm, and swing it in a circle like this for maybe about a minute. This will loosen up your arm and your shoulder muscles. In order to get the legs loosened up, you can just sit down in a chair and take your leg, grasp it right about here, and just pull up tight, as far as it'll go anyway, and hold it there. Hold it for about 10 seconds and maybe do 2 or 3 of these. It's important not to bounce it or anything like that, because then you can pull a muscle. Do that with each leg, and then after you finish that, take your leg and put it straight out, put your hands underneath the knee, and simply pull up until you feel tightness in your hamstring back here or your calf, and hold it there for about 10 seconds again. It's important, again, not to bounce it, because then you can pull a muscle. Maybe do 2 or 3 of those. After you've done that and you're warmed up, and then you've come to the bowling center, the next thing I want to talk about is your choice of a bowling ball. So many of us like to use the same ball maybe year after year, and if it's not the same ball, at least it's the same weight. And let's face it, as we get older, it gets harder to throw that 15 and 16-pound bowling ball, that heavy bowling ball. So I like to recommend to the senior citizens, both men and women alike, that they try a lighter bowling ball. For men, I would recommend, first of all, a 14-pound bowling ball, and for the women, a 10 or 11-pound bowling ball. What this will do is make it easier for you to bowl, because it won't be so hard on your arm. You'll have better control, you'll probably have a little better speed, you'll have better accuracy. And remember, that light ball will make the spares just as easily as the heavy ball will. And speaking of spares, that brings us to the third aspect of the tip. Let's face it, as we get older, it gets harder and harder to string those strikes like we used to do when we were younger. So now we're forced by necessity to concentrate more on the spare aspect of the game. Remember, if I make the large percentage of my spares, I can still maintain a good average, and I can enjoy the sport of bowling no matter what age I'm at. So the 3 aspects of today's tip are a little pre-tournament or pre-bowling center exercise, a lighter bowling ball, and concentrate on those spares, and I can enjoy the sport of bowling no matter what age I'm at. Till I see you again, good bowling.
And thank you, Mike Durbin. Some tips from the top from a fellow that still enjoys the game very much. And among the top 10 money winners this year, Mike Durbin. Number 1, Mark Roth from Spring Lakes, New Jersey, $105,000, $365. He's doing very well. Richie Sajak from Highland, Indiana, next, a little over $90,000. George Pappas in third. He's from Charlotte, North Carolina, $88,330. Gil Sliker from Washington, New Jersey, $87,270. And it's Pete Weber, St. Louis, Missouri, $86,735. His dad, of course, here tonight. Marshall Holman from Jacksonville, Oregon, having a good year, over $86,000. Mike Durbin from Chagrin Falls, $84,000 plus. Gary Skidmore, $82,000 from Albuquerque. At number 9, Wade Webb, almost $81,000. And number 10, Bob Chamberlain from Pontiac, Michigan, $73,000 just about.
And talking about our top 10 senior money winners, it's led by Dick Weber. Bill Beach is in second, Larry Miller third, Jim Vernaccio is fourth, Allison fifth, Ed Bourdain sixth, Jim Schroeder on the show tonight seventh, Bill Miller eighth, Roy Ryan ninth, and Harry Smith, the great Tiger, is in 10th place with a little over $6,000.
One of the good friends to all of us involved with TV and the PBA is Chuck Pisano. We had a chance to talk with Chuck, and here's how that went. Many times when you watch bowling on USA, PBA bowling, you see in the credits the name Chuck Pisano. You've heard his name mentioned before. He's been with us every week. He is the historian of the PBA. He is our television coordinator. He's also a charter member of the PBA and a member of the Hall of Fame. He's done a little bit of everything, and I think it's only fitting that on this occasion, Chuck, we bring you in, because seeing some of these boulders, some of the vintage boulders, it brings back a little nostalgia and, of course, takes us back to the very beginnings of this great game. How did it all happen?
Originally, nobody knows who the father of bowling is, but we all know the father of professional bowling. It's an Akron, Ohio attorney named Eddie Elias. We used to host a sports show, and he had Dick Hoover, who was a pro bowler on at the time, and he asked Dick how he was doing on the pro bowling tour, and Dick said there's no pro bowling tour. And 2 weeks later, Eddie Elias started work on a pro bowling tour.
And this thing has grown just unbelievably. The kind of dollars we're talking about today as opposed to yesterday. I'm sure that some of these fellows who have bowled in this event this week here in Canton have got to look back and say, hey, why couldn't they have been paying that kind of money when I was on the tour?
No question about it. Many of the bowlers who are bowling in this if they could win the first prize here, that's much more than they made in a number of years. Many of the purses of one tournament today is equal to what the purses were for the entire season back in the 50s and the early 60s.
We have not seen professional bowling as we know it for that many years. It's a relatively young, organized professional sport.
It certainly is. It was basically a team sport before Eddie Elias organized it. He put together a combination of host bowling centers, commercial sponsors, some imaginative concepts, and of course TV, which was the focal point, put these bowlers into the spotlight, allowed them to make a living bowling on the tour.
Will we have an opportunity as the bowling game progresses to see maybe more seniors events? It seems to be popular.
I think the plan is to go eventually to about 6 senior tournaments. Each year we pick up 2 or 3 new bowlers. For instance, this year the new members were the great Carmen Salvino and Tita Semez, who are still bowling on the national tour.
Chuck, good work.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's take a look ahead and find out that in December we have the National Resident Pro Championship in Orlando, Florida. And all of us from USA Sports are happy to be here in Canton, Ohio. And we'll be right back.
Now there's an easier way for you to keep up with all the latest in news, sports, money, and life. It's USA Today delivered right to your home or office every day. And when you subscribe, look at all you'll get.
A whole new way. USA Today.
USA Today, the nation's newspaper. At home or at the office, it brings you all the news from around the corner and around the country in 4 colorful sections. News, sports, money, life. USA Today. Exciting, rewarding, fascinating, vital.
USA brings you the USA.
USA Today, via satellite from the nation's capital right to your door. Call now and you can have it delivered at this special introductory price. Order 3 months at our regular rate and you'll get an additional 2 weeks free. That's 15 weeks, 75 issues, all for just $19.50. But you must act now. The price is going up August 27th. Plus, if you call now with your paid subscription, you'll also get this matching USA Today t-shirt and cap free. Just call 1-800-453-2900 to start delivery of USA Today. That's 1-800-453-2900 to get USA Today. The newspaper of tomorrow is here today. USA Today, the nation's most colorful and most comprehensive newspaper. News covering the nation from every state. Money, how to make it, how to spend it. Sports, all the results from everywhere. And life, the talk, the trends, and what's worth trying.
USA brings you the USA.
Now's the time to act. Get USA Today and your matching t-shirt and cap free. Call now.
And so for Jim Schroeder on the left, a chance to get even with Dick Weber, who is the defending champion. Remember, it was Weber who eliminated or knocked Schroeder down a peg in a 1-game roll-off to get here. So they qualify second and third. There's Dick Weber, the defending champion, and a gentleman who is in outstanding shape. He's going to be 55 in his next birthday, 5'10", 155 pounds. And his name, of course, is synonymous with the game of bowling.
And he just stuck at the line on that practice shot and threw the ball left to the head pin.
We had a chance to talk with Dick Weber. He's an interesting fellow. Let's listen. It's a night for PBA charter members and Bowling Hall of Fame members and legendary people, and I would say that you are certainly one. You're looking at Dick Weber, who has been around this game for a lot of years, and I'll tell you what, you don't look none the worse for wear. You look terrific.
Well, thanks very much, Ed. I'm one of those fortunate fellows that just able to keep their weight down a little bit and have the fun and the luck, the lady luck, following him all the way, and a good family, too.
You've had a good family life. You've got boys that you're very proud of and a wife that you're very close to, and of course that has to be very helpful when you consider the rigors of the PBA Tour, being on the road week in and week out, year after year.
Well, that's for sure. You know, without family support, and of course my wife is the backbone of my career, and you know, they always say there's a good lady behind a man that prevails, I guess. And I've got to wish her a happy birthday, by the way. Happy birthday, Hunter. It's her 29th birthday. last week was Pete's birthday, so tonight would be a great night to win for her and the family. And I just had a great family to be behind me.
You're very fortunate in many regards, and one of the interesting ironies that is trailing right now is the fact that you have an opportunity to win here tonight. Your son won last week. Now, all the trivia buffs out there are searching through the records, but they may have a hard time finding out if ever there was a situation where a father and son have won successive tournaments of any kind.
Well, I can't remember of any. I just was brought to my awareness that from the press that there's never been a father-son duo back-to-back titles. But to go on, I bowled all three of my sons in PBA competition. I've beaten two of them. Pete, I've never beaten yet in match play. And of course, there's another thing too. I have a daughter that bowls, Paula, and my three sons and my daughter have all had 300s too. So we've got quite a bowling family. My wife is still looking for her first 300.
Carmen Salvino, there's a fellow whose style I'm sure you know well. You've probably had a lot of head-to-heads with him.
Yes, he's a great competitor. I like his bowling. I've always liked it since I've known him when he was 18 years of age and won a national doubles with Joe Willman. But he's a fierce competitor, and he's one of the best fellows that ever happened to the PBA. He's a great asset to the PBA because he's sincere, and yet in the paddock he's a kidder, and he'll tease you a lot, but he's always behind you.
Dick Weber, I almost think that he and Earl Anthony go to the same barber.
He's just one of the class acts in the sport of bowling. Interesting, whenever I've seen Dick on television before, he has always picked to finish on the left lane because he wants to get out of his opponent in front of his opponent right away. But he's chosen to finish on the right lane here as he's had so much trouble on this left lane. And he gets that light hit. He never got close to the pocket in the practice balls.
27 career PBA titles. This is why.
Five-stack player here. Free swing. Look at that swing. The classic swing of Dick Weber. Kind of stuck at the line there. To follow through to the right as always has.
Jim Schroeder now, another charter member of the PBA.
And blows. Oh my goodness, I don't believe that 7-pin stood. But he's happy it happened now rather than in the 10th frame. I can't believe that 7-pin didn't fall over. You're going to watch it here. The ball is going to drive the 5 into the 7, and it's going to go right over the top of it. Look at that. I don't believe that it stood.
Moved it around a little bit.
Sure did. Cross lane at the 7-pin. Ooh, has it. Thought for a minute he pointed it too much at it, but he didn't.
So Jim Schroeder now. Going to come right back. He had a thrilling win to get to this stage. He rolled a 212 with 8 strikes. Struck out in the last frame to beat Bob Coble.
This left lane has been the tougher for everyone else. Schroeder's hit it very well. Playing much further outside than Weber is and leaves another 7-pin. 2 excellent shots. Leaves what we call the swishing 7 on both of them. 5-pin goes in front of the 7-pin. There's Pete Elliott, one of the head men behind the Pro Football Hall of Fame. You ever visited that, Ed?
No, I haven't, but I'd really like to get over there. Of course, I remember Elliott when he was a coach, before that a player. He was a good one.
I took my son down to visit the Hall of Fame several years ago, and it's really an experience. Of course, I've been a pro football fan for years. Weber playing in close to where he played this pair last year when he won the tournament. Playing in close to the 3rd arrow. Back deeper, about board 16 on both lanes, and another 3rd 7-pin in 4 frames that we've had. Suddenly that 7-pin is nailed down.
That thing has probably got a spike under it. I don't know. I think it doesn't want to go down.
Weber in deep. You see him deeper than that dark board, and just gets the 5-pin. Weber, an excellent spare shooter, cross lane at the 7-pin.
1982 was a rough year. Lots of physical problems, but he's come back beautifully.
Just hangs on to make that spare. In that tie match last night, when Weber bowled Schroeder and defeated him 189 to 185, they bowled on this pair, 39 and 40.
Well, I'm sure they remember something from it.
Weber putting the fingers in first and then the thumb. That classic style has the weight in both hands. Looking over the top of the ball, concentrating fiercely. And bang!
A strike for the defending champion, Dick Weber.
It's absolutely amazing. He's in there close inside the third arrow. I didn't see him throw any practice balls in there for an hour and a half in practice, and now he comes out and he's playing in there.
It's like Dave Kingman. When he's swinging the bat well, he never takes batting practice. He hasn't taken batting practice all year for the Oakland A's.
Schroeder leaves a 4-pin. 3 straight pocket hits and not a strike yet. Still in the match, though. He knows he's throwing the ball well and got the ball in the 1-3 pocket. He's got to keep that speed up on the right lane and kind of float it on the left lane.
And remember, Carmen Salvino is in the wings. And the first prize tonight, $15,000. Second prize, $8,000. Third, $6,000.
So the loser of this match is going to get at least $6,000. Not too bad.
Not bad at all. That'll buy a few hoagie sandwiches for you. Let's take a look at where they are in this match.
And you see the difference, just 2 pins. Weber working on a strike. Schroeder looking for his first one yet.
Jim from the Buffalo area.
Is an interesting little habit there as he takes that towel and puts it down. He wets his thumb. I don't know if he does it every shot, but he puts his thumb right on his tongue there. Light again. And the worst hit of the 4 gets a strike.
And he was 3 lanes over by the time all those pins went down. Well, he's animated.
Well, he wants to win. He's looking for that first PBA title. Here's a charter member that's never won. And boy, he can just taste how sweet it would be to win.
There he is.
See him go in front of our camera there. But he's got to beat 2 of the all-time world's best.
27 PBA titles tied to his belt.
He is light and didn't get the famous Dick Weber wall shot. Weber's made a living over the last 20-some years carrying that wall shot, and this time he leaves the 7-pin.
You don't realize it, but the last time he won a regular PBA Tour title came in 1977. That was in Kansas City at the King Louis. Doesn't seem like that long ago.
Yeah, the years fly by. Weber converts the 7-pin. He's left 2 of them on that lane. Schroeder's left 2. 1 on each lane. Interesting, Dick seems to have found something on this left lane now that he hadn't found in practice.
Weber +2. And Commissioner Joe looking on. Joe Antonora.
It's light. Light. Ooh, what a good break. Gets 9 out of that, and you see him put his hands down like that. What he's telling himself is, slow down, you dummy, slow down. He said he figures he just rushed that line and comes up there. He has a tendency, he always has throughout his career, of coming up at the line, but he gets a great break and leaves only the 2-pin. Cross lane at the 2. No problem. Again, sticking just a little bit at the line, but sticky approaches never bother Dick Weber.
And so that's going to take us to the halfway point of the match. As you look at Jim Schroeder and Dick Weber, a little friendly conversation, and we will return to Canton, Ohio, and we'll do that very shortly.
Jimmy Martin, inventor of the world-famous Martin Lane reader, wants you to become a better bowler today.
Every serious bowler I know needs the 9 bowling accessories contained in my toolkit.
That's right. Each kit has everything you'll need to improve your bowling skills. There's a stay-dry bag for sweaty hands and a Pro Grip rosin bag that's used by professionals in all sports. The Jimmy Martin Toolkit also comes complete with ball tape, a cat claw grip strip, and folding scissors so you can adjust your ball whenever necessary. Have you ever done this? With a brass brush and Jimmy Martin's X-Wax, you'll never be at the mercy of approach conditions again. Order your toolkit today and get all these fine products, plus Robbie's Skin Protector, a ball tool, complete instructions, and a heavy-duty clear vinyl toolkit bag, all for only $19.95. Call 1-800-USA-1000 or save COD charges and send $19.95 to Toolkit, P.O. Box 49648, Atlanta, Georgia.
It's the great teams at a great time, and it's live. It's the premiere of USA's College Football 84. Saturday, September 8th, you've got a ticket to a top 20 barn burner as mighty Oklahoma puts its revamped wishbone attack up against Stanford's passing sensation, John Pay. USA's College Football 84. Pass it on. Live at 2:30 p.m. Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific, Saturday, September 8th.
20 years ago, leukemia and related diseases took enough lives to wipe out a city the size of Burlington, Vermont. Since then, the Leukemia Society of America has funded $32 million in research. Today, 8 out of 10 children with the most common type of leukemia will survive. And survival rates for adults have increased significantly. But until everyone survives leukemia, we need your help. The Leukemia Society of America, we're closing in on a killer.
Back at the Hammer PBA Seniors Championship, $110,000 event here at the Hall of Fame Lanes in Canton, Ohio. Jim Schroeder right now, trailing by a pin and rolling in the 5th frame.
Running that thumb up to his mouth again, too.
Yeah, you know, I noticed when I was talking to him before the event that thumb looked awfully dry. Skin was peeling back. And
yeah, some people are that way, have extremely dry skin and need to put a little moisture on it. Trying for a double. Good speed, and has it. Boy, he just keeps that speed up on that lane, and he goes right to the pocket. Of course, he's had every ball in the pocket this game.
You better keep chewing on that thumb if he continues with those results.
See that good body position as he comes through the ball. He knows it's in the pocket. Isn't that little linebacker charge there?
Somebody asked him about his bowling goals, and he said, I just want to do the best I can here and bowl well. Well, he's certainly doing that this week.
You know he's got to have a goal to win, though. See him cup that ball like that? That wrist straightens out in the backswing, though, as he goes through his shot. Right there. Oh, it carries it.
Yeah, he liked it all the way.
He's put the pressure on Weber now. 3 in a row, he's put the pressure on Weber. Weber suddenly down 19 pins as he comes in light, and he's carrying this light hit very well. He just blows him out of there. No 7-pin there. Weber looking for his first strike on lane 4. Comes up at the line a little bit, but gets it to finish in there nice. Great shot.
And so the man who was named the Sporting News PBA Player of the Year in '65 knocks them all down.
Good lift on this ball. It finished hard. I didn't think it would make it back, and it just drove right to the pocket. He's got a good shot on both lanes if he can just get it in there a couple times now. Wants to keep his feet slow. That's what he's thinking about. Stay down at the line.
Right now, he's down by 19 pins.
And is he going to carry? Yes, he does. I've seen Weber do that in the past. He beat Norm Myers in Toledo with a hit just like that back in the early 70s. Suddenly it's only 9 pins now.
Crowd being entertained by these seniors. Very likable gentlemen.
Schroeder needs to keep his speed up again on this lane 4. He does. Ooh, it leaves a soft 10 pin. Boy, a nice shot. Very nice shot. It just, he thought it was going to carry. He was trying to body English it in there.
Got a friendly looking face, doesn't he?
He's a friendly guy.
When you were a kid going out, it's the kind of guy that when you went out on a date with a girl, he's the kind of guy you'd like to see her have for a dad, you know. Nice.
Cross lane at the 10 pin. Has to have the spare. And does. No problem. No problem at all.
So it's Schroeder and Weber.
Well, we had a great match last time, and we got another one this time. You see it is there. 137 through the 6th with a spare up. Weber 99 in the 5th with a double working. The difference, 8 pins.
And remember, it came down to a one-game roll-off to seed 2nd and 3rd coming into these finals tonight.
Schroeder has had every ball in the 1-3 pocket, trying to make it in one more time in the 8th frame here. He's light, and leaves the 2-4-5. Could have been worse. His worst shot of the match right there. Has to make the spare. He's still in the lead. Still in the lead. There's his wife, Joyce. I don't know that she's keeping score, just can't stand to look.
Very nervous. Stepped up after the last match and said, oh, I prayed for those last 2 strikes. She's probably doing the same right now.
Has the spare. Nice conversion. Excellent conversion.
So right now, the way it sits, it's Schroeder leading this man, Dick Weber, by 5 pins. And Weber stepping up and ready to go to the line here in the 8th frame.
Can take the lead now in the 8th frame with one more. And he's there and gets that wall shot. And one he's made a living on.
The defending champion starting to get it back.
Look at those eyes, the eyes of a winner there. Didn't get out of that ball quite the way he wanted to, but he knows it's in the pocket and gets that wall shot, smacks those hands, takes a 5-pin lead, and now for the 9th frame can increase it to 15 with one more.
Has 5 strikes so far here in the match.
It's there, great shot. Did you see that speed through that frozen rope? There's that Weber mystique over all the years. Gets those breaks when he needs them and then drills it in the 9th frame. What a great shot here.
Well, he had some velocity behind that one.
Didn't he throw that hard? He has put Jim Schroeder in a must-strike situation. Schroeder is still potential 234 if he went all the way. He's going to have to repeat his performance of last game by striking out in the 9th and 10th.
He averaged 207 for the week. Weber 209.5.
Gives us a lot of room and gets that 10 pin. That's what he was looking for back in the 7th frame.
Does he have another strong finish in him?
Well, he showed he could do it last time. He gives it a lot of room. He goes wide of that dartboard. Now watch the 6-pin, 2nd from the right. Goes and just nudges out that 10 pin.
And right now, Schroeder trailing by 15, but with the strike working.
Great bowling here between these two players. Schroeder has to have this one to keep any chance of winning alive. Pretty shot. Boy, oh boy, has he responded to the challenge.
Oh, he really has. He is up for this one tonight.
He certainly is up for it. Boy, look at that follow through. Just perfect. Now he's watching. Is it going to hold? He's wondering. Yes.
Could be better, he says.
Thumb goes to that mouth again.
Exactly what I had in mind, says Jim Schroeder.
One more to take the lead. It's down 5. Weber's been through this many times.
Many times. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Weber looks very confident. Schroeder looks determined. One more good shot is what he's telling himself. And he's made a good shot. He's made a good shot. And gets that 10 pin out of there. What a great shot. And look at that delayed action on that 10 pin. Look at that concentration, determination. That follow through straight up. He knows it's in the pocket. He's saying, get that 10 pin out there, carry. Yes.
I'll tell you what, there isn't an umpire in baseball that can be more emphatic on a call strike than that. That was terrific.
6 pins he needs now.
If he could only have that 8th frame back, I'm sure he's thinking that way.
6 pins to make Weber strike. And he's going to get 10. Yeah, what a finish. 2 times in a row. He shrugs his shoulders and says, it's out of my hands.
I guess that answered my question pretty well when I said, does he have it left in him? And he sure does. He finishes 234 with 7 strikes and 4 in a row. 234, 4 straight strikes. And Schroeder, nervously pacing. Now it's up to Dick Weber.
And Schroeder's not even watching. He can't stand to look. He's got his back turned to Weber. And Weber is high, does not carry 4-6, and Schroeder goes on to meet Salvino. Schroeder lays back. He couldn't even stand to look.
Does anybody have a rose? Pull one in his hand right there.
Well, Dick bowled a great game. 1 errant shot in the 10th frame. Nothing to be ashamed about. He tried to make it back-to-back with the father-son combination. It just was not quite up to it.
Well, that's what you call restitution. Weber knocked him down a peg with the 1-game roll-off, and Schroeder comes back when it really counted here tonight and puts him away, finishing 234 to Weber's 215. And so that sets up our final match of the night. It'll be Jim Schroeder walking away from our USA cameras and Carmen Salvino, another member of the PBA Hall of Fame. We'll have it for you when we return on USA.
Night is young and the fever is high. Got room to move, nothing but time. My Levi's coins sparkle and shine. On a night turn, right turn, Levi's corduroy night. On a night turn, right turn, Levi's corduroy night.
Hi, I'm Mike Jarek, host of Alive and Well, the health and fitness show that can turn your life around. You'll discover the magic of great tasting low-cal cooking with Diane Jugonatos. Increase your inner strength and beauty during Linda Arkin's stress breaks, and enjoy every kind of exercise with Kathy Rigby McCoy. Joanne Carson explores hundreds of leisure activities and home improvement tips that can save you a lot of money. We've got runways of fashions and beauty experts to help you look your best. All this on the show with Spirit Alive and Well.
At 3 Eastern, noon Pacific today.
What kind of people are working in the Army Reserve?
I'm an attorney in a New York City law firm and a pilot for the Army Reserve.
I'm in college.
Back home, I'm a security officer.
And I'm a machine operator.
I'm studying engineering in college.
Be all that you can be. You can do it.
It's not only an important job, it's an exciting one, too.
In the Army Reserve.
The USA Network invites you to enter a realm slightly beyond reality, with tales of the unexpected, star-studded adventures into the mind's darkest corners, seasoned with a dash of the sinister. An unforgettable journey awaits you when you discover tales of the unexpected, strange twists of fate on the USA Network at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, today.
Well, here we are, the finals. And it'll be Jim Schroeder against Carmen Salvino. Schroeder has been amazing to get to this point. He's had 15 strikes, 8 of them have come in the 9th and 10th frames, and his 2 match totals so far is 446. But Carmen Salvino, don't forget, has been the leader all the way. There he is, red shirt, red ball, resplendent. A man that's been around a long time, a member of the Hall of Fame, a PBA charter member, and he has been around 26 years. Let's find out more about colorful Carmen Salvino. We visited before, and here's how that one went. A Hall of Famer and a charter member of the PBA, Carmen Salvino. And Carmen, it's probably going to be difficult for some people to believe, but here you are, and now a member of the Seniors Tour.
It's very difficult for me to believe, too, because I'm still bowling active on the regular tour, so it's been a real treat for me.
What about the difference in the regular tour, the tour that we see so often on USA, and now, of course, the Seniors Tour, which we're giving our folks a chance to view for one of the rare occasions here tonight?
Well, I'll tell you, it's been interesting for me because I haven't bowled with a lot of these players for maybe 15 or 20 years, and I've been in a locker room with them and kidding again, having more fun and loose, real loose, relaxed type behavior, and amazing to me, a lot of them still throw the ball great. I thought I was going to come here and see a lot of old men, but I was surprised. These guys are very active and tough.
What is the difference? Maybe a little less velocity?
Well, a little less velocity, but they're using a little maybe lighter bowling balls, but they still have the savvy. They still know how to play lanes. They still got the intensity. They're really competitors, and that's how they got here.
The people that follow the game tell me that you're rolling it just as good now as you did when you came into the league as a young man.
Well, that's true. I've been very fortunate. I've been able to make a lot of changes in my game, and I've stayed in shape. I do a lot of exercises. I work out every day with big, strong rubber bands for tension exercises and stretching exercises, and I've kept myself in good shape. And it's paid off because, let's face it, the kids of today are great bowlers today, like Marshall Homer and Mark Roth and Wayne Webb, and I'm competing with them. And I got to say this too, the kids of today are great players. I've got to give them a lot of credit, but there's always an argument who's the greatest of all the athletes, the ones of the past or the ones of present. And I will say this publicly, I've bowled against both, and I believe a champion's a champion, and they would find a way to succeed in any era.
Still colorful, still flamboyant, still seem to enjoy the game. You're out here and you're rolling with the big boys. What kind of goals? I mean, you've done so many things so far in your life, and you'll be able to look back in a few years and realize that people consider you a legend. You must think about that occasionally.
Well, I just hope I don't become a legend in my own mind. But let's face it, my thrill right now is longevity. Most players have to talk about a given title or a given experience of one kind. The fact that I've been bowling professionally for 33 years, I turned 50, and I started when I was 17, that to me is a feat. And if I can last another 25 years at the top, boy, that would really make me feel great, and I'm going to do it.
A legend in your own time is what people prefer to refer to you to. Carmen Salvino has been our guest tonight.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being here.
And so, Carmen Salvino, his first championship round appearance since he finished third in the 1982 King Louis Open in Overland Park, Kansas. He's had an excellent week, Mike Durbin.
He's had an outstanding week. He averaged 221 for the week, which the biggest average we had close to that was 209. So he just ran away and hid with the field, or from the field. And in practice, he seemed to have the best shot of any of the players, but Jim Schroeder is hot and looking for that first victory.
Wouldn't that be something? Again, 2 charter members of the PBA. Here's Jim Schroeder. He's been amazing. 9th and 10th frames. He has done nothing but strike out here tonight.
And immediately misses the head pin. You wonder if there's some kind of letdown from that tremendous big finish that he had. He leaves the 128. Could have had a washout. Needs to get this spare under his belt, and he'll feel better.
The winner, $15,000. Second place, $8,000.
Regardless of what happens, this is going to be his best finish ever in a PBA tournament. The highest finish he had before was third. Uh-oh. He nicked that head pin and it didn't fall, and he opens in the first frame. Boy, just the ball hooked in the middle of the lane right here, and I knew he was in trouble. Watch the head pin, it'll wiggle. He nicked it, but it didn't fall. Salvino with his one-arm style that he made famous, really. And is it going to fall over? Didn't quite get the lift that Carmen Salvino could put on the ball. Carmen, 4-step bowler, pushes that ball in steps. Watch the slide, in perfect balance, good follow-through. He's been doing that for, he says, as he says, for 33 years.
And 17 PBA titles along the way.
Interesting, on his strike shot, Carmen tucked his little finger under. On his spare shot, he untucked it. He's a master at different hand relations. Has been for years. He's always fiddling with the fingers holes, thumb hole in his ball, and he gets just a little bit different roll here, a little different release.
Constantly experimenting. In fact, his outside occupation, research and development.
Puts the ball up there and then hangs it down with one arm. He'll bring his left hand over and touch the ball and go. Choosing to finish on this left lane, and that's why.
still bowls on the regular circuit, maybe 17, 20 times a year.
Every year, pretty shot here. In around the 11th, 12th board, solid in the 1-3 pocket. Schroeder needs to get his strike close on like he's had the last 2 games. Back in the pocket and carries. This is a big ball coming up here, Ed. Schroeder's down by 11 pins, but with a double, he can cut it to 1 and get himself even in the match and recover from that open frame. And that's exactly what he wants to do. He does not want to give Salvino the chance to get off and running ahead of him. Quiet. You hear a pin drop. Jimmy concentrating. He's there. Oh, pretty shot. That's what he wanted to do. Right back in the match.
So Jim Schroeder, a spare-time golfer, would like to see more seniors events, is doing well again.
Look at that pretty follow-through, and he knows he's just saying, don't leave a solid 7 or 8 or something. Salvino trying to increase the lead. His first double, bad follow-through. See that follow-through go way to the left that time. Left the 1-2-4. He's talking to himself. Carmen does that. He will settle himself down and talk to himself. Watch the follow-through. Watch it go across his body here, which indicates that he just never got his thumb out of that ball cleanly. The ball went right. As opposed to that follow-through that went out to the right.
Yeah, it's a new ball game now. 1 pin difference. Salvino +1.
Now watch the follow-through at the spare. See, it goes out to the right, and the ball goes left over and makes the 1-2-4.
You could take some of these reaction shots and make some pretty good dance steps, couldn't you?
Maybe some new ones. Huh?
Some new ones for sure.
Left the 6-10. Just staring that ball into the pocket suddenly. He's talking to himself again, shakes his head a little bit. Suddenly he's behind now for the first time in the match. He's going to be behind by 1 pin. Cross lane at the 6-10. And, ooh, woo, just gets that 6-pin out of there. Brings a little wry smile from Carmen. Boy, he almost sailed right by this. He killed the shot on purpose, and he wanted to bite just a little bit there, and it did.
I think the wind knocked that one down.
That's what they say, the breeze knocked it over. Schroeder trying for 3 in a row. He's light, and we have an even match. He leaves the 2-pin. We're even to the pin if Jimmy converts the spare. It's interesting. He's really getting a reaction. If he gets it in on this right lane, the ball doesn't finish. And if he gets it out, sometimes he goes high. At the 2-pin, no problem. No problem, right at the spare. Jimmy looks up at the scoreboard.
And so do we.
There it is, you see it. They got there different ways, but both of them got 58 in the 3rd with a spare in the 4th. So it turns out to be 6 frames for the Seniors Open Championship.
A difference of $7,000.
But the title, see.
The title.
Especially.
For Schroeder.
Well, both of them want that title.
This man going for his first ever. Carmen for number 18.
A little light, and ooh, he leaves a 10-pin. He's been carrying that hit so well, and he leaves a blowing 10. Really thought he had a strike there.
Schroeder, who's won a little over $31,000 in his career, contrasted to Carmen Salvino's $522,000 in change.
Over that $500,000, and he made most of that when the prize funds were small. Ooh, and it comes back. Get a little reaction from the audience and the announcers.
Well, we have ourselves an interesting one. Jim Schroeder, and he says, wait a minute, I need a break. Schroeder and Salvino, and we're coming to you on USA from the Hall of Fame lanes in Canton, Ohio.
See this AM/FM walkabout? We're sending one just like it, free, to people who've already responded to a very special offer. And now we're going to make that same offer to you. So watch closely. Then I'll be back to help you get your free walkabout.
When you read Time each week, you know more, you understand.
Time flies and you are there. Time cries and lets you care. You understand the world we share. Yes, time brings you closer to living. Time puts events in sharp review. Time brings it all right home to you.
Each week, Time magazine takes you beyond the news to help you make sense of it all. And now you can get Time for almost half off the cover price. Call 1-800-221-9100 and get 27 issues of Time with all the important stories of 1984, including Time's special coverage of the upcoming presidential election. And you can have it all for just 89 cents an issue, payable in 3 easy installments of $7.97. We'll also send you this free with your paid subscription, the Time AM/FM Walkabout. It has state-of-the-art circuitry for clear reception and full, rich sound. It weighs just ounces and has padded adjustable headphones. So call now, 1-800-221-9100. There's never been a better time to get Time.
Throughout your world, throughout your land, time puts it all right in your hand. Read Time and understand.
Hi, I'm Judy, one of the operators here at Time Magazine. Remember, if you call now, you'll get Time at almost half off the cover price. And this exclusive Time AM/FM walkabout free. This offer ends soon, so call right now. Our operators are standing by.
Carmen Salvino's high game this week, a $2.99.
And, oh, a solid 7. Boy, his best shot of the match and leaves a solid 7. Carmen makes a nice slide here. In fact, actually, it looked like he stuck just a little bit now. Our statistician, Larry Listing, says that he stuck back in the 3rd frame as he leaves that solid 7.
You know, Mike, interesting, only 6 of the 27 tournaments this year have been won by the top-seeded position.
Yeah, they haven't fared too well, as we're entirely even through 5 frames. And there's Jenny Salvino. Watched many of these matches before.
Chicago, Illinois is home for Carmen.
Watch Carmen and see if he slide. He's been sticking, and Weber stuck. Good follow through that time. Pretty shot. Watch the follow through. Watch it go. See how it goes straight up and then out just a little bit? And there's your reaction. When that follow through goes left, he gets in trouble.
Well, one thing we know, we will have a new champion. Defending champion Dick Weber was eliminated by this man, Jim Schroeder, with a sensational finish, rolling 4 strikes in a row in the 9th and 10th frame. And now it's all down to one match between he and Carmen Salvino.
Right over that dark board, and perfect result. Well, it's 4 frames to go, and we're still all even. Boy, he makes his best shot of the match right here, right over that dark board. Good speed, good lift, good turn, and good result. See that ball finish right through the pins all the way into the pit.
And our scoreboard, and all even, as Mike Durbin had indicated. Couldn't ask for anything closer right now.
Schroeder trying to take a 10-pin lead. Left a 10-pin on this lane back in the 5th frame.
He's there. Oh, what a nice shot. Takes that 10-pin lead, puts the heat on Salvino.
Oh, he's really bowling very well tonight.
There's Jimmy throwing the shot, knowing it's there, down on one knee, and he's got it. Back line, Salvino trying to match it. And almost left another solid 7, but gets it. Great shot by Carmen. Responding to the pressure. Even match. 3 frames to go. We're in the 8th frame.
Elected to the Hall of Fame in '75, as was Dick Weber. You got a lot of tradition when you're rolling up against a Carmen Salvino. And Schroeder's not even thinking about it. He is just as cool as can be. As Carmen gets ready now. The match all even.
Big shot for Carmen. Can take the lead. A little light. Is it going to carry? And it. Oh, he leaves the 7-pin. Boy, it sure could have carried.
He hitched those pants up like he just hit one over the fence, but it didn't quite get there.
That's been a mannerism of Carmen for years, of hitching those pants up a little bit like that.
Babe used to do that too, you know.
Did he? I'm not that old.
Neither am I.
There's
Here's Jimmy.
Looking down, she knows the score. Cross lane at the 7-pin. And hits the thumb hole. He does that on purpose in a lot of spares to keep it straighter. Boy, next 2 frames are so big for Jim Schroeder. He is up by 1 pin. Can increase it to 11 if he can get 1 more. He's working on 2 in a row. Carmen just kind of looks down a little bit at that point. And boy, he did not make a good shot. He was definitely left to target. Paid the full penalty, the 4, 6, 7, and has really handled it to Salvino here.
That's a tough leave right there for Jim Schroeder.
Well, it's impossible. All he can try and do is throw hard at the 4-7 and hope something bounces around and comes out to hit that 6-pin. Needs to get 9 out.
Oh, good run at it.
Gets 9 out, but now suddenly it's a 14-pin difference, and Salvino has those 14 pins, and we only have 2 frames left.
But remember that Schroeder has been devastating in the 9th and 10th frame. He has struck out in each of the previous matches that he's been in, and it's come down to that again. So let's see if he's got it in him for a 3rd time. Jim Schroeder.
Got to have this one in the 9th. Still potential. 212. Would he beat Kwolek with the first match?
His high game of the week was at 244. He rolled a 234 to knock Dick Weber out.
And he's really handled it. And it falls over! The pin rolled around and knocked that 7-pin over. Keeps him barely alive. Again, just early turn, left of target, not much, maybe a board. And he's going to have the 6, 7, 10 up here and those 2 pins there, the 2 and the 4. And the 2-pin roll over and knock that 7-pin down. And he makes the spare to keep himself alive, but Salvino's got the hammer in hand. Carmen needs a strike and a spare and 7.
The nail is in place. The hammer is poised.
And what a pretty shot there. What a pretty shot there.
And he just drove it down a little bit deeper.
Good lift and turn here. Follow through went left a little bit again, but he came, pulled it back by his tremendous strength. He's in great shape. A spare and 7 pins. A strike wins it for him outright. And that's what he's looking for, a strike.
It would be his 18th PBA title and his first since '79.
Light, leaves the 2-5. And he's mad at himself. He said, you didn't get the lift. Didn't get the lift, he says. Right here, in good balanced position. Just kind of steered it in there. Says, come on, baby. At the 2-5 to win. Very little time. And has it. That's what he wanted. Now he wants 7. Now he wants 7. He goes over and looks at the score. 186 through the 9th. 7 pins gives him 203 and shuts out Jim Schroeder. And Schroeder knows that there's no way that he's not going to get 7 pins.
Wife Jenny, and if he does, it would be in keeping with the way he's bowled all week. He's been the leader after each round.
And Brooklyn, that's 7. Waves that left hand at it. That's enough.
You see what he said? He said, get out of here. Knock those pins down. And so he finishes 206.
And Schroeder, that's the one he was looking for in the 8th frame, right there. Trying to finish out the string strong. And leaves a soft 10 pin. Picks it up, he'll shoot 192 and finish second. He congratulates Carmen. It was a great performance by both players.
Really was, really was.
As Jenny gives the winner a kiss.
And a shot for TV there.
Well, Carmen bowled the best all week long, and he deserved to win, and he did. 191.
What a way to end for Jim Schroeder. But it was over. And Schroeder really was magnificent to get to this final round, as Salvino ends up as the new champion and congratulated by the outgoing champ Dick Weber. So it's Carmen Salvino with a 206, Jim Schroeder with a 191, and a very interesting match in series indeed for the Hall of Fame lanes in Canton, Ohio. We'll be back to meet our winner and have a presentation when we return right after this.
In the West, where Levi Strauss & Company began, how clothes feel has always been just as important as how they look. That's why Levi's Action jeans have both an easy care fabric that gives and a fit that offers a skosh more room. It's a level of comfort that's attracting more men every day. Levi's Action jeans, a real comfort from Levi's menswear.
Do you know anyone who eats grapefruit that doesn't lose weight?
Grapefruit 45, a fat-burning pounds-off plan that won't let you get hungry.
I lose up to a pound a day.
And I eat as much as I want.
You can actually eat your favorite foods and still lose pound after pound.
Apparently, the secret's in the grapefruit ingredient, which speeds up the fat-burning process.
There's no way I'll eat grapefruit 3 times a day.
30 pounds in just over 30 days.
There's no way I'm eating grapefruit for lunch. This little fat burner plan does the trick.
Grapefruit 45.
The fat burner.
What would you rather have 3 times a day, this or this?
Grapefruit 45 and our guarantee to lose weight fast without going hungry or your money back.
The fat burner.
There's never been anything like the Grapefruit 45 weight loss plan. You'll burn off pounds of unwanted fat and get our money-back guarantee. To save COD fees, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-USA-1000 or send $19.95 to Fat Burner, Box 49648, Atlanta, Georgia 30359.
The USA movie. It's action.
That's just to let you know we're not talking through our hats.
Adventure.
You can say that again.
Comedy.
I'm gonna do a good job too, Captain. You just watch and see.
Romance. The USA movie at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Thank you, partner. Well done indeed.
It'll make your day.
And welcome back to the Hall of Fame lanes here at Canton, Ohio. As you can tell, we've had quite a night of bowling. These folks are very appreciative, and it's been a lot of excitement. There's no question about it. We saw a lot of animation from the bowlers. We had a lot of fun, got a chance to visit with these fellows. They were all very excited about being here, and we think we've had a most interesting evening indeed. Mike, I would have to say, in looking back, some of the things that we saw here tonight, we haven't seen a lot of that in some of the events we've had prior to this one. So I think that in all it was entertaining and a very lucrative one for our friend Carmen Salvino.
Well, it certainly was. We had great bowling by Jim Schroeder. I think Jim deserves a round of applause back there.
And a gracious loser in Dick Weber, our defending champion as well.
Jim gave us a definition of what clutch bowling was all about. But the winner is the man who led all week long, Carmen Salvino.
And we have a presentation. We have an award here from Earl Widman, who is with Fable Enterprises, and of course they make that beautiful ball, the hammer ball. And we also have Ms. Bueller here, who's Janet Bueller, of course, the president of the Hall of Fame Lanes, and she's got the big check. And I know that his wife is standing by, and she'd like to get her hands on that very quickly.
Okay.
Earl?
Carmen, I'd like to congratulate you on a week of wonderful bowling. I think you bowl better now than you did 20 years ago when I bowled with you. Lovely. On behalf of the Fab Ball family, I want to congratulate you again, and thanks a lot, Carmen. You look just beautiful out there.
Earl, as a PBA brother and a manufacturer, I want to thank you very much because your company's new in the sport of bowling, but you've chosen to put money back into the sport, and for that we thank you very much.
Thank you, Carmen.
Thank you. Now, Janet, if you'd be kind enough to hand that big check over.
Carmen, congratulations, and I'm glad you won your first Ohio title at my center in Hall of Fame Lanes.
Thank you, Janet. I've known you for years, and you've always, and I won't say how many.
No, okay.
I know, they know I'm 50, but we won't tell how old you are.
Now, here's your wife, Carmen. You can hand the check over anytime you want.
Before I give her the check, I want to say this, that I want to thank my wife publicly for all the hours that she sat and watched me bowl. And believe me, that's no picnic. And she's worked hard to help me get back because I had a shoulder ailment. And she worked for a complete year sitting, plus a lot of other years. And she worked for a complete year watching me bowl and trying to recover. And I want to thank her publicly.
All right, give her a big hug, and we'll say so long from the Hall of Fame Lanes in Canton, Ohio. It's been a terrific week, a great night. We hope you've enjoyed it. Until the next time on USA when we present the PBA, thank you for being with it. Mike Durbin, I'm Eddie Doucette, and so long. The $110,000 Hammer PBA Seniors Championship on the USA Network has been brought to you in part by the Stroh Brewery Company. Family brewed quality for over 200 years. And by Levi's Action Slacks and Action Jeans.